They say that children and pets can see or sense things. I believe this to be true. When Kelly was a teenager, she went through a phase where it was really difficult to fall asleep. She spent many a night just laying in her bed, waiting for the boredom to carry her off into slumber. On one of those long nights, somewhere around 1 a.m., a strange noise came from outside her window. It sounded like a mixture of singing and a heavy wind. Due to the boredom, she was more curious than fearful, so she peered out to see what was going on. The trees just outside Kelly's house were blowing softly, and the street lights only barely lit the pavement and the sidewalks. A little ways down the sidewalk, though, just beneath one of the lights, she could see a woman just standing there. The woman's posture was just abnormal enough to be creepy, and she couldn't help but stare for that reason alone. She was trying to get a good look at her face, but it was hard to make out in the dark. The woman looked old, though tall, and her eyes, at best, were nothing more than shadowy sockets beneath the dim light. The more that Kelly stared, though, the more convinced she was that those eyes were just black holes. She was ready to duck and hide if the woman moved toward her, but the woman turned to cross the street instead. But that's when Kelly noticed her feet. They were just dragging. The woman drifted, with her feet dragging behind her as she went. That's when Kelly realized that this was something to be afraid of, and she was very afraid. But still she couldn't stop staring at the old woman. Then the woman stopped. She turned and faced directly at Kelly, as if she felt Kelly watching her. After a moment, the woman started moving straight toward Kelly's house. Kelly whipped the curtains closed as fast as she could, buried herself in her blankets on her bed, and closed her eyes tight. She spent at least the next 10 minutes or more praying as hard and as much as she could. Somehow that gave her enough courage to take another tiny peek outside her window, and to her great relief, the old woman was gone.